Audio description and captions by Shakira Dyer and Jochen Kienzler. The rest is credited to Kays, Moses, Nsanja and the former students of UAL. For more of Kays' films, go to PRQDUCTIONS Productions.
The parties, the galleries, the accommodations, the nightlife. University is said to be the best time of your life, but so far it hasn't been for me. Behind the glamour of UAL lies a hideous dark underbelly, and despite its promises of inclusion and progression, only a few reap the full benefits of the university experience. Like everywhere else, UAL is consumed by a culture of indifference and ignorance when it comes to how many people of colour like myself are often overlooked. This lack of representation and respect is not only a problem when it comes to the faculty, many of our fellow students are just as complicit. IK's Moses and Sanja have returned to expose the racism that plagues UAL.
The letters UAL changed to UAL. Episode 2 Race. Muswell Hill, a white middle class area.
It makes no difference in this life.
In North London,
Up and up's just fine.
riding on a bus.
Up and up this life till we're down on our luck. It makes no difference in this life.
Past the big houses
Up and up's just fine.
and the fast cars
Up and up this life till
and the
get
green
stuck.
trees.
Lifting up, lifting up, lifting up.
No black people.
Coming down, coming down.
Well, just a few. Kay stands in front of Porter Smith School.
To the sound.
This is Fortsmed, the secondary school that I went to. The thing is, it's in a really white middle class area.
No black people are steamed.
So being a young black man, I never really fit in that well.
Student yearbooks, insults against Asians, against everyone.
If there's anything I learned from secondary school, is the fact that not only is it the government, social institutional racism is everywhere. It affects people of colour like me. It's what ruined my childhood. When I was passionate about things, I was seen as angry and aggressive. I was never really truly accepted. This is the place that made me in so many ways. There's so much pain and struggle that went to my adolescence being in this school. And I thought things would change going to UAL, but clearly they didn't. People of colour in every social institution, whether it's schools or like anywhere, we never fit in and we're never truly accepted.
Black Lives Matter protest.
If there was ever a time in recent memory where it has been even harder to be black, that time would be now.
2020.
The oppression of my people becoming more blatant and the crisis of the corona pandemic. Things are worse than ever. Returning to North London during lockdown has given me time to reflect on my upbringing, and I have now realised that the same evil that plagued my childhood is a lot closer to home than I ever thought.
Joy Gardner. Not just George Floyd.
Institutions, every single one that divides us, they're behind all this suffering. It's not just police brutality, this oppression is normalised everywhere. Even my liberal university is part of the problem.
The shopping centre was knocked down. They built a university over it.
In summary, this shit stinks the same, whatever side of the river you're on.
Racism. Discussing it will always be difficult. However, it's important to do so, as this discrimination should never be tolerated in the very institutions that claim to care about us. For this reason, I have interviewed many students of colour with different backgrounds and viewpoints so that we may be able to have our say when it comes to race in UAL.
Race in UAL, you're telling me?
I do feel marginalized, but at the same time, it's like how I've been feeling. It's how I've been feeling basically, like throughout my life.
Truthfully, I didn't pay like a lot of consideration into the issue throughout the year, so I'm not really able to tell you if like racism is present in UAL.
But it's kind of like passive discrimination. I know for sure the art direction class, that was just something that's like our legit moved courses 90% because of how the discrimination was. For example, I wasn't even there at this time when the teacher said coloured.
He said coloured.
Yeah, he was like referring to people and then he's like, oh, these people and then coloured people. And you're just like, why would
They
you
don't get
even, why? It's just a passive ignorance, but I don't think it's ignorance because you should know by now.
They should know by now. This is the same university where a tutor casually used the word nigger. In a course that I won't name but will say involves taking pictures. And was only disciplined with a temporary leave of absence. Despite how appalling this behaviour is, this doesn't mean the students are off the hook. Oftentimes they're just as bigoted or even worse than the faculty.
So we're meant to just give black people advantages?
And as you see, when I first came here, I feel like there's a racism towards me. They don't say it like openly. I feel that there's like, if I'm Asian, they don't want to talk to me, or maybe it's just I'm being just self-conscious. I don't know, but I think overall UAL is very diverse. Maybe because they get a lot of money from Asian people, you know, it could be it.
I mean, I guess it depends on the people you surround yourself with, I guess. But the people I surround myself with, I reckon they're pretty, like, you know, solid guys, I guess. I wouldn't go as far as saying they get me, but like, obviously they're aware of what's going on.
The art school students exposing racism on Instagram.
Yeah.
As far as students go, people are going to be who they are. So we have all kind of different profiles, which I like. And I feel like you have good chances of meeting people you really get along with at UAL, no matter where you come from. And that's the big strength of the uni. UAL brings attention to some of its policies, some of its so-called like progressive ways of doing, whether it's administratively or whatever. And because of this whole context, our attention is like brought to these issues, like these race issues, class issues, and all of that. And you kind of like superficially feel like you're part of some place that understands you, some place that is different from everything that's going on around, some kind of shelter where you can actually focus on your creativity and all of that. But it's not like, it's just exactly like the rest, and that's what's disappointing with it, you know what I mean?
Castle of Babel, written and photographed by Rafael Castillo. Facing the shopping centres and art school, the London College of Communication, belonging to the UAL. The thing is, the children of all were promised to be equal in the huge city, but you could tell the lie by how the ruins were treated and who was getting hurt by the storm. The locals, coming from South America and the West Indies notably, who were still living in the ruins, came to learn that the art school was a danger to them. In the shambles, already left vulnerable to the storm, the shopping centre was still holding the ruins together. The city skin is money though, and the art school boy over, using the money of the students they're supposed to teach to do so without asking questions. The whole thing is supposed to turn into bigger, newer art school. UAL, money mad, the people wrote on the walls of the centre before someone got paid to clear it.
I tend to get on with people very easily. I'll speak to people like, I feel like I'm approachable. Because when I've been in other situations, people have come, like, it's been fine, it's easy for me to make friends. But when I came, it's like everyone just blocked out.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you get what I mean? It's like you're trying to drag conversation from people. So I just don't bother.
I think with that, I realised, because I'm always trying to give them the benefit of a doubt, so I was like, oh yeah, maybe they're just blanked off because we were shy or something. But I realised when they came into the class the next day or like 1 week in, and they were talking about a party, and I was like, oh, well, we didn't go to no party, so that's interesting. And then that's when I was like, yeah, there's some racism in this class. I mean, I left the course like 1 month in. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, this is just rude. Yeah, that was crazy.
That sounds mad. Oh my god, I thought I had it bad.
That direction's a joke, man.
At the party or whatever, they would come and talk. They would talk to other people from my class, but not me. Maybe because of who I am, or maybe because we can't find anything to relate to. I don't know. It's just, for me, I would try and talk to other people as much as possible, but like for them, they wouldn't make their first move to talk to an Asian person. It's always Asian people trying to make the first move to get to know
In
them.
2019.
So I'm standing out here getting some fresh air. I see this lady walking in. Right now it's mainly staff because it's really early. She's giving me the dirtiest looks. I'm just thinking maybe she's having a bad day. I don't know. I hear her speaking angrily like in another language. I can't tell which one. I'm assuming she's on the phone, but like I don't see any phone to her ear, no headphones, no nothing. She's like looking at me sideways as she's walking, like literally cursing me off, like yelling under her breath and stuff basically. And I'm thinking like, what could be the reason I've made this woman angry? I hate to go there, but it's definitely the colour of my skin. I tell people about racism within this uni and no one chooses to believe me, but no, you can't be doing that, especially in 2019. I should be more angry, but am I really surprised?
It's like the systemic unconscious racism that was like always present, like whether it was with my hair, with my nose, every like cultural feature of mine.
The only thing maybe is when they stare or talk about wigs to me.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
one.
if my hair's natural, it's like, oh, is that actually your hair?
Yeah,
It's just,
that's true. The hair one, it's mostly just asking loads of questions about like your hair exactly.
Yeah.
Like, is that your real hair? Is that blah blah blah? Which I don't mind if you're educating yourself. I just need to tell you once. I'm not gonna tell you again. You know what I mean?
And it's kind of something that you find again in UAL. And because of that, I found myself like actually bonding quite easily with non-white people that are around, to be fair, because we all share this experience, which also proves its point, like its actual existence.
before doing anything, I asked the teacher like, okay, can I change the percentage balance on the colours? She said yes. So when we presented it, she wanted to basically draw out the one that my group done. Obviously critique it, but the way she went about it, like I'm the only black person sitting there and I was the only one in my group that put my hand up. So it's like she tried it and I had to give attitude, and then it's like the whole class is looking at you. If I retaliate how I normally would, you're the angry black girl. But then if you don't say, it's just, yeah, I was quite agitated after that class because she's never spoken to anyone else like that. So
It's a lot, like it's a lot more than people dare to admit today, because people are so scared of being cancelled and stuff like this as well. Like they just don't want to deal with any of that. So UAL is no different from the rest of the current capitalistic and social constructions that just put us in this whole situation in the first place.
End of part 1.